One of the things I have felt a blessing and I have shared with my colleagues a lot is that to have the guidance of the three of you during this time has been not to just have the guidance of three doctors that know what they are talking about during this pandemic and what is safe and what we need to do with mask vaccinations and fans and all that, but three doctors that see TVZ really as their community and a place of their spiritual home. And I remember in our many conversations about that, about you saying like, this is important for us because we want to be able to be in our spiritual homes in the safest ways. And you, the three of you, got to celebrate the bar and Benot Mitzvah of your children at TVZ during the pandemic, Catherine with Amira and Rebecca with Raphael and Asaf with Maya. So can you share a little bit about celebrating this Simchas at TVZ during the pandemic and what that meant for you? Rebecca.
Sure, pleased to start. I mean, by golly, this is with 100 hours of preparation over 3 days. Claudia let us reformulate the notion of celebrating Raphael from planning to be in Eretz Israel to the sanctuary within TBZ. And I think once again, just speaking about the creativity, how we do this in a safe manner, how we make sure this could be intergenerational, and how we could bring really the spirit, the music in a safe way to celebrate this life cycle event. And I always think these practice sessions for the bar mitzvahs are some of the most sacred moments when the young person gets to be in the sanctuary. And so it was such an honor to be able to be in the sanctuary. I think it uplifted all of us to be able to be in the space, safely in the space, masked in the space, and then be able to have a wonderful celebration the next day. So I just admire both the sanctuary, the sense of moving up and down the steps, which we can share some anecdotes later, and also just the adaptability. I mean, how many institutions can adapt this quickly to have leadership, have the space available, and then ensure a young person can celebrate and mark this life cycle event.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I will say that TBZ has always been remarkable in the way that it allows different mitzvahs to transform our community as we recognize and honor the child as they're going through their process. And every single bat mitzvah, bar mitzvah, bar mitzvah has been different, right? And then you layer on top the pandemic and where we are in our safety protocols and how we're going to do the food and how many people can be in the shul. And there's a whole nother level of creativity. And every single moment that we've honored over the last 2.5 years, 2.25 years, has been special in a different way. And it's because I think, as what you said, Rebecca, is like we have responded with great resiliency. And I will also say that getting to have Amira's bat mitzvah, it was another moment of saying we cannot take any of this for granted. We have never actually been able to take any of it for granted, but we have. And yet when you have a moment like this and you recognize and honor life in the face of so many possibilities of change and recognizing that there's been so much loss, I think it creates an even more heightened joy and opportunity to remember what's important.
Well, for us, building off of what Rebecca and Catherine said, Maya's bat mitzvah was earlier on in the pandemic. We were just starting to do bnei mitzvot in the synagogue, and there was a real question as to whether it could even happen. And I'm so grateful to you, Rav Claudia, to the synagogue leadership, to the entire community that allowed us to build and think with creativity, with safety in mind, with joy in mind at a time that was very difficult. about how to do this and how to do it safely. And it initially was quite different than maybe what we imagined, but our experience really was that it concentrated the experience, the joy, the connectivity, the meaning in ways that we couldn't have understood had we not gone through it this way. And it also, hybrid technologies allowing, Zoom to connect us with people all over the world that might have not been able to experience it with us. So again, I'm just so grateful for all that was put in place by so many to, I think, not only make this joyful for us as a family, but also I hope, and I've heard, connective and meaningful for the rest of the community. So it was really, it took a really initially difficult set of circumstances and really elevated them, and we're so thankful for that.